we go. Okay.
Welcome everyone. My name is Margaret, and I am the host of the video podcast series, Lifestyle by Design, Not Default. Tonight, my guest is Chris Miranda. Chris, welcome.
Thank you. Hello. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. It's great.
Okay. Lost the audio there a little bit. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I said thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Same here. It's a pleasure and honor to have you. So welcome. And tonight we are going to be talking about this is part of the Entrepreneurial Mindset series. And our topic of discussion tonight is how to think like an entrepreneur. So we'll take that on two levels, right? Maybe one, how entrepreneurs think, and two, how to think like an entrepreneur if you're not an entrepreneur. So
Right.
Chris, to start off, can you tell me a little bit about your background as an entrepreneur? How did you get into it and what you currently do?
Sure. So I'll start from the beginning, very early on. Growing up, my father owned a large all-natural and organic food company, big sales company. And I always had the vision in my mind from seeing him of what I wanted and what I wanted to do when I was growing up. And, all the years of being under his guidance and learning different sales techniques and ways to overcome objections and learning sales on the phone and how to sell over the phone and how to train people and how to motivate and how to inspire, I always believed that that was something that I could do, but I just really never knew the platform or how to get to that point. So anyway, I worked for my father, graduated high school, decided to go to college. I went down to Liberty University in Virginia, and I majored in business management and sports management. I actually started with sports management and then decided to pick up business management as well because they kind of paralleled each other. And I did that for 4 years, and then I did an internship in D.C. for Congressman Joseph Pitts, and I was there for about 6 months. And that's when I had a reality check because I was down there, and I was never one that was given. My parents always had. They didn't really always give. They helped if we ever needed to be, but I was in D.C. for about 6 months, and I remember working there for free. And I remember every single time I did anything, I would charge everything on my credit card. And I had this thing in my mind that you get out of school and you get out of your internships, and all of a sudden, all the money falls in your lap, or you have these big opportunities. And long story short, when I got back home, I realized the harsh reality that was not the case. That I know, right? It's, and I never forget when I got back, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do now? Like, I have the degrees, and I worked in DC. I could have done that, and I was really torn. So I started doing sales again for my father. I was driving house to house selling food. I'm like a 21, 22-year-old kid. I looked very, very young at the time. I would go into somebody's home and sell them a $3,000, $4,000 food order with a freezer for another $2,000. And I would sell them every single time. And I always believed in what I was doing, and I always believed in the sale. And I believed that I was helping people because it was an all-natural organic food product. But anyway, after doing that for a year or 2 years, I realized that it's great and all. Dad knows how to make money, but I'm not dad right now, and I need to become dad. I need to create that for myself. So I picked up another job, and I was just, was doing some electrical work somewhere. And then I started doing the custodial work, actually in the building that I'm in right now, which is my father's building. And I was the custodial guy. I was cleaning the toilets, doing the floors. Nothing was ever too good for me to do. I always believed that, you have to start, you have to get your hands wet before you can do anything. You're not just going to run. You need to start and learn how to crawl, then learn how to walk, and then learn how to run. And, so I always sucked everything, and I always learned. And one day I was in the office here, and, I'm still doing sales for my dad, but it was late at night, and somebody came in to rent the space that I'm currently in right now. And they came in, and I heard them talking. My dad was speaking with them, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me that, you know what? I can do what this guy's talking about, because I just knew that I saw him, what he was saying, and I understood the idea and the concept, and I knew how to sell over the phone, especially because I learned that all my life growing up. So instead, I told the guy, I said, listen, let me learn your product, and I'll bring that product back here, and I'll do it myself. I'll be an affiliate. I'll be an office of you, and I'll use your guideline, your template. So I actually went to. It's over the Verrazano Bridge. I think it's Staten Island. Is that where it is? 280. So you take the Verrazano Bridge, and it was right off of there. What
I know
town
it's
is it?
close to Staten Island. I don't know.
Stat. Okay, well, if it's Staten Island, whatever. So I drove there for about 3 weeks, and I did the drive every single day. Did not get paid, and I learned and I saw what they did. I absorbed what they did. But after being there, they weren't really doing things the right way. I think in business, it's very, very important, regardless of your background, whether you're Christian, Catholic, Jew, it doesn't make a difference, Jewish or whatever it may be. You have to do things right, and you have to do things honestly, and I just didn't believe in what they were doing because I felt like they were hurting the people more than helping them. So
Okay.
I found a partner that I used to help sell with my father, and brought him in. I brought the idea about, hey, listen, let's do this product here. I found an attorney that does the exact same thing, and I started my company in 2000, end of 2008, early 2009, Opportunity Debt Management. And the funny thing is, Margaret, like thinking about it, is at the time I knew nothing about business really. I was a custodial guy, and I was selling food in someone's in houses, making $80. I would drive to Philadelphia for somebody to tell me that he made an appointment so he would get free food. Terrible. And that's what drove me. It wasn't the whole idea of like I don't want to work for somebody, which it was that's a part of it, obviously, of course. But it was really the fact that like I know that I'm worth more. And I truly believe that so many people that are out there that are doing things, that are in their position that they're in, they're like in this rut, and they know so many people believe that they can do it. And for me, I believed it, but the difference between me and someone else was I actually took that step and did it. And I believed it. I knew I could. I took a small loan out. I started up. I got a plan, and I hired an awesome partner / manager that came in with me that I learned a lot from. I mean, that's another thing too. You need mentors, and you need people that can help you and that you can learn from. And this gentleman, really, really, like, I'm very good in certain areas, and in certain areas I'm not the best in. And as an entrepreneur, it's very important that you identify that and you realize that there are certain areas that you can excel, and there are certain areas that you can still excel in, but they're not your specific areas that you should really be doing. And we kind of found a very, very like awesome, what is it, like a structure of how to do it. And from that point forward, after I had the business plan and the idea from seeing it, I implemented and took the risk, took out a loan, bought computers, started buying leads, creating scripts, objections, rebuttals, putting the ads out, hiring guys, creating the LLCs. And the funny thing was, and I say this, so whoever's watching, I knew absolutely nothing about business besides the fact I used to do sales and watching my father, but I didn't personally know it myself. I didn't create companies in the past. I didn't start them. God bless you.
Thank you.
So yeah, so I didn't really know like any of that. And from learning and studying and training, and also taking the risk and not being afraid of failing, is what really got me going. And then from that point, once the momentum was built, once the office was moving and they had 8, 10, 12 guys working and money's coming in and things are great, you can build off of that momentum. And from that point forward, we launched another company, which was Consumer Tax Relief. We ran that for a while, which was helping clients get out of, their situation with their financial distress with the IRS. Same templated thing, buying leads, hiring guys. I created a script, the objections, rebuttals, and trained that, and had a whole other office doing that. And again, from that point, you just continually would find different opportunities. Because here's the thing, as an entrepreneur, I strongly believe you have to diversify. It's very important to diversify. You don't want to diversify to the point where it becomes like a detriment to yourself, or where it starts to harm you, and then you start to regress in the business. But you really need to have a portfolio of like, hey, listen, I got this business moving, but if this business goes down, I have this backed up. The entrepreneur has to make sure that's the way it is, because the entrepreneur doesn't go to work and doesn't usually get a check at the end of the week from his boss, knowing that they got that secure income. And from that point forward, opened up a health insurance agency, Liberty One Health Group, which is currently still around. And we're currently still, running a Medicare supplement product right now, licensed in the licensed health agency, and we're helping people that have Medicare. But it's just the whole thing is getting an idea, creating a structure for what you want, and taking the step to do it. That's the most important thing. And listen, I was afraid of failing over and over again. I remember the first year I was worth negative like $40,000. And then the next year was worth, yeah, it's, and I'm sure a lot of people have had similar experiences. And, I remember it, like, it's funny. One of my manager slash partners here right now. And I remember cutting him checks for 3-4 grand. And I remember not getting anything for another 6 or 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what it takes. And it takes that sacrifice. And so many people say, well, I don't have the money. Well, I don't have this. That should not be a factor to stop you from doing what you want. You find a way to make it happen, whether it's working part-time at night and doing what you want during the day, or working part-time during the day and doing what you want at night. Create the structure for what you want, create the idea, think outside the box for what you want, and make it happen for yourself. So anyway, that brings me to now, and I have relationships and partners with a couple different companies that I work with, and a couple centers I work with overseas, and my own internal offices here in the States, and I'm just trying to continually build, and never settling. I was telling my hold on one second. Sorry, a call's coming. I was telling the manager here and my partner in Liberty One. I was like, it's funny. I'm so driven right now. I was like, you got to keep me on point because I want to do so many different things. I want to do this company here. I want to open this office here. I want to move this product here. But it's very important to focus on the goal at hand. And that's one thing where a lot of entrepreneurs, they start making money and they're doing good here. Then they go here, then they go here. And then all of a sudden, everything gets like diluted, where you're not really focusing anymore on what your plan is. So, I'm just focusing, and you need a good partner. And that's kind of my whole story to an extent. And listen, I am not done. It's not over. I'm not the most successful businessman in the world, but I'm trying to become more successful, and every single day trying to learn and grow. And that's all you can do, So
Your passion is definitely, it comes across, and I can see that. And that's one of the things, like when we first met, that I picked up on you when you were talking about your business. And tell me, how important is it for an entrepreneur, and when you think like an entrepreneur, to have passion?
That's a great, great question. So I think in life especially, passion is really what drives. It is like the driving force. You have to have passion for it. It's like whether you're in love with somebody, or you love a sport, or you love football, passion is what burns you to continue. Like, football fans, like New York Giant fans, or Eagle. Hold on. I think I lost you. Are you there? Wait a second. Let this connect.
Chris?
Yeah, your screen. There you are.
Yeah, okay. It says there's a little bit of network. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Yeah,
So I last heard you.
Yeah, I'm full service. All right, go ahead.
Yep. I last heard you mention football fans.
Okay. No, so my point is, you can use it. Most people, not everybody, I don't want to overgeneralize here. It's a little NLP technique there. But most men or whatever enjoy watching football, or some. NLP gets me going here. Sorry if you don't know what NLP is, anybody that's listening to this, but anyway, so people like to watch football, and you can see when you watch football on TV, you see the fans are crazy. Oh my goodness, they're nuts. That's being passionate. It's like if you're in love with somebody, you're passionate. You want to do things that are nice. For me, the passion is the most important thing, because it's what makes you want to strive to continue. It's like you want to always. It's something that you're passionate about is what you love. So if you love something that you're doing, you're going to be always like immersed in it. You're going to always try to be learning, trying to do better, trying to succeed more, or something that you did, you want to, why didn't it work the right way, and figure it out a little bit better. And passion's the driving force. I mean, I could go on for hours about passion. As an entrepreneur, it's very important. And it's very important to make sure you maintain that passion. And I'll tell you some experience from myself. After getting involved in business and doing pretty well for myself, the flame burnt. There we go. Hold on. There you are. So after after starting when I was really young, this is actually really good for me to say to people. Being young, I had no experience in the field, but I was passionate about doing what I wanted to do and working for myself. And I was also passionate about helping others make money. This is never about me being making millions of dollars and making all the money. That's not really what it was about. It always was something for me to teach somebody something and for them to close that sale and then get that $200-300 commission and do another one and do another one. That was what my passion was, and it what drove me, and I loved that about it. But after doing business for, in 08, 09, 2010, and 11, and then 12, and going through different products and just different script building, I lost the passion a little bit. And that's the truth. You always lose it. Like, if anybody sits here and tells you as a business owner or an athlete or anything that they've always been 100% passionate, I don't believe that's necessarily true. You have to continually make that passion burn. It's like a fire. You need to feed it. And if you're in a position of, say, success or whatever it may be in your life, it's important to keep that flame lit. And for me, in 2011 and 12, I kind of lost it a little bit. I was still doing my thing, but I wasn't passionate. The products were good, but I started doing a whole bunch of products, and it just, my mind was spinning. I kind of lost the passion, and then because I have various offices, other places. I'm going to take a break for. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you are. I said, I'm going to take a break for like a year, and the passion left. And I remember he was even speaking with you about, I was revamping a couple offices and doing other things. And one day it just hit me again. That passion, the burning flame came back. And as an entrepreneur, it's important to make sure you maintain that flame. And if the flame does go out, your burning desire and passion for what you're doing goes out, find a way to reignite it and find a way to make it come alive. And when it comes alive again, make it burn harder and stronger than it ever has. And that's how I feel right now. The passion is back. I'm building one office right here, building another office in another area. And it's not about what I'm doing, but it's because my passion is enabling me to want it every day, get up at 8 o'clock. I used to get up at 11, 12 because I could get up whenever I wanted to. I'd go to the office at 12:30. People were working. Every day I get up now. I get up at 8 o'clock. I read my book. I get in the car, get to the office early before people get there. It's like, that's what you need to do to be successful. And you need to keep the passion alive. So I know I'm rambling here, but passion's a very it's a very dear thing to me because I was very passionate and I did lose a little bit, and then I got that flame back more than ever. And that's where I am right now. So if you are getting involved in business out there and you don't know where to start, find your passion for what you want and hold on to that passion. Let that passion lead you to what you want to do, and just push. That's my advice for that.
Very, very important.
Yep.
So tell me, you talked about, I'm sure in your business, you had challenges. You talked about your first year where you were negative, you were in the red.
Right.
Tell me what was going through your mind, because you obviously didn't give up. You've gone on and you've branched out. What was going on in your mind, and what did you tell yourself to get over that hump and to continue and not let it go?
That's a great question. That's a great question. So, when you're in a position of working for yourself and creating your own thing, no matter what it is, I always like to say that because so many people have so many different ideas, and it could be anything. It could be teaching. There you are. It could be teaching somebody how to write in cursive or just to write pen. It could be any area. No matter where that area goes, whether you're succeeding or failing, it's always important to continually strive. You don't look at what it is now. So one thing that I look at, especially right now, is when I'm building a couple new offices, well, it's been a week, it's been 2 weeks, it's been 3 weeks. We should be doing better. Yeah, it's right, but we've only been doing it 3 weeks. What if we've been doing it for 6 months? What if I do it for a year? Well, I've been doing it for a year and I'm still not there. Well, maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you need to look at what you're doing and revamp it a little bit. Maybe your passion's not all the way there. Maybe your heart's not in it. There's a lot of different areas there. But for me, I knew in my mind what I wanted. And it's very important for people, like they say sometimes, take a picture and put it on your wall what you want. Sometimes people in offices, a lot of my friends, one of my buddies has like 20 offices. He has cars all over his office because he always loved cars, and that was his driving force. So you find what you want that motivates you to move, especially when you're in the position of you feel your business is going, and maybe it's dipping, and you're just starting, and you're still not sure of yourself, and you're thinking about quitting. Remember something: people that quit, they never know what it's like to succeed. You'll never know that feeling of success. So in order to feel the feeling of success, you need to continue and strive through that plateau, or through that trial, and just keep on pressing. And that's what I did. And I knew it would pay off. I knew if I got to my numbers, the certain numbers I needed to hit, and I just had to revamp how to get to that point. And, I just kept on pushing. And all of a sudden, one day, you look at the bank and you look at what you're doing in the office, and everything changes. And then you go to the next month and it's like, oh, I got to start all over again. But the next month comes and you don't look at it like that. You don't look at it as a challenge. You look at it as like an event, like something that's fun. Hey, listen, I'm going to tackle this now. It's not so many people. So often I hear from friends of mine that either start businesses or do different things. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe what's happening. Or I can't go into work tomorrow. We all been there. We all do that. It's important to take that mindset and put it in the past. Get rid of that and be excited for what you're doing. If you fail, you fail, but at least you tried. And if you do fail, try again. It doesn't mean it's over for you. It's even like an athlete. People that play sports or play tennis. I'm a huge tennis fan. Roger Federer, for years, would lose the French Open. For years. He was in the finals 4 times, lost to Nadal every single year. But he always said, he goes, I'll be there one year, and Nadal won't be there. He goes, and he ended up winning it in 2009, arguably the greatest tennis player of all time. But why? Because he continued to strive. Not because he lost, and not because he wanted to quit. He knew that one day he could overcome that obstacle, and he did. So... that's how I feel about, when you hit those plateaus or when you're in a rocky situation, keep on trying. But always assess the situation that you're in. Like a captain on a boat, he navigates the waters right. He using the compass. He points the boat into the waves. You got to steer your ship. So.
Talk to me about vision, because you touched on vision a little bit, and you talked also about the driving force behind the vision to keep going. Most entrepreneurs, I think, are visionaries. Sometimes they see things that, there's no pathway has been created for it.
Right.
And they just see things. They can even go into an abandoned building, like let's say somebody in real estate, and go, oh wow, this is amazing. Like what we see with our eyes, they see something else happening.
Right.
So
Yeah.
talk to me about vision, keeping focused on that vision, not being deterred, but also something you just mentioned, having the ability to maybe be flexible if something's if you're not really getting what you want.
Right. So that's a great thing that you mentioned about vision, because something I always say, like I always used to say, I'm not creative. And when I say that, because you say walk into a room and some people can see certain things. An artist can walk into a room and see a beautiful like painting that he could put on the wall. For me, I can get a concept of a business plan or an idea, and I could put that on paper and I can roll it out and hire and do all that type of thing. So vision is very important. But remember, vision pertains to an individual. Your vision, my vision is completely different than yours, Margaret. It might be different than everybody else's, or an artist or an athlete's vision. I'm in the business world, so my vision is building a business. My vision is creating a product that would sell, that I can sell, that can offer to somebody, that would help somebody. My vision is creating the scripts to push that product out there and making sure that my vision stays on course, that what I'm looking at and where my prize may be, that I follow. So the vision pertains to what your field is. And so many times, again, I say this because my friends, they always come to me and say, Chris, like you've done this and you've done this. Well, I want to do this. And I say, well, dude, what's your vision, man? This might not be your vision. You might not have a vision for this. You might be, or have a vision for something else. So to me, when I think of vision, I think of like the vision for what pertains to me, my vision in the business. And oh, I think I lost you.
No,
There you are. Okay. Yep. So does that answer the question? Did I go off there, or that's?
You're answering it.
What was the other? You asked me something else after the vision.
Well, so you were just talking about, well, okay. The other part of the question was not being deterred from that vision. So let's say that you wanted to have an office. You currently have a couple offices overseas, but what if somebody said, like a mentor said, no, I don't think you should. Maybe it doesn't make sense, but you are thinking big and you've got this vision, and for you, there's some truth in this vision. You can see it happening.
Right.
How are you able to keep that vision, make it happen? And if you're not getting what you want, maybe being flexible to changing some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you have like a pattern interrupt in your business or in the vision of what you have, I think it's just very important to kind of refocus on why you started. Like, or what brought you to that point. So, and it's going to happen to almost everybody, no matter who it is. Like even, I think Donald Trump talks about it, but I mean, I think he was bankrupt. His dad lent him $1 million. He lost money, went bankrupt. And it's a very similar situation. If he lost his sight and lost his vision of what he wanted, he wouldn't be where he is today. So if you lose the vision and you kind of fall off the course a little bit, maybe you make a couple bad decisions, it's okay because everybody does that. But it's important to make sure you find that vision again and execute it the right way. Find why you deviated from where you were, and try to get back onto that that line and follow it. And if you do deviate from it, make sure that you really take that, make a picture, write it down, and continually press towards the vision that you already have. But again, there's so many flexible things here. If you're kind of off topic of like your vision, if your vision starts to sway, you just need to find the why, and get back to what you want.
What if you have someone like a mentor who doesn't exactly see your vision and is trying to persuade you to do something else?
That's interesting. That's very interesting because that could be very hard for some people, because I know from personal experience. Another one of my buddies that does like another type of business, he had a similar situation like that, and he actually branched off on his own. He was working hand in hand with his mentor for years, big company they were with, and he decided that it wasn't right for him. And in his heart, he felt the right thing to do was to do it on his own. And I think there comes a point in your life or in our life that when you have something and somebody is telling you something, maybe a mentor or maybe a family member, business partner, it's always important to always heed people's advice. Listen to what people are saying, but at the end of the day, you have to make the decision on your own. You have to be able to live with what you did and how you feel. That to me is important. It's very important as an entrepreneur to make sure that the decisions that you make are the decisions that you make, not the decisions that somebody else makes. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Okay. And also mentors. And
Right.
let's talk a little bit about mentors and thinking like an entrepreneur. Let's say,
Sure.
I mean, you started out, you said that you didn't know anything about business. I mean, you grew up around it, but you did not start a business yourself. And you're into a business yourself now. And you said you hired a manager who was also your mentor and who was able to complement some of your weaknesses. So how
Right.
important is it, as an entrepreneur and thinking like an entrepreneur, to have mentors in your corner? What can they bring to the table for you?
That's an awesome question. I think that's one of the most important things in business, period. Whether you have an idea yourself and you go into business by yourself or with a partner or with a mentor, it is so important to have somebody that you can look up to and that you can learn from. It's very important. And a lot of people, a lot of people in business always say, find that mentor. It's important for that mentor to lead you and to train you. And I'll tell you from my experience, I mean, my partner has been slightly, to an extent, yes, a mentor, and he's been very good with me. But, my father also, like growing up and it's just seeing what he did, and it showed me that it was possible. Sometimes mentors can show you that it can be done when you can't see that, or when you can't see the end of the line, or you don't know what it is. And it is important whether the mentor that you want is in front of you, or you have to find it through a book that you're reading. It's very important to find that leadership type of person that's going to help you push and is going to give you that guidance, and areas that you're weak in, they're going to tell you. And it's always important to be open to listening also as well. But mentors are extremely important. I think everybody should have one,
Here's a question. I have a really good friend who started in real estate and is doing pretty well. And he got involved when he first started in real estate. He went in with his mentor. And as he began to get a little bit more successful, his mentor started doing things that were a little strange and making demands on him. So
Right.
he had to end the relationship. And I bring this story up to say how can we select good mentors, or what are here's a better question. What are some good identifying factors for picking a good mentor?
Oh,
And
okay. It's a great question, Margaret. You're really good. You know, wow. For me, I'll tell you from my personal experience. It might be different for other people. For me, it was finding somebody that had good morals, that had a strong backbone. I it's very important that you get into business not with a snake, and so many people, the end goal should not, here we go. Your mentor should not be someone that's only focused on making money. If your only focus is on making money, going and buying that car, going and buying this big house, and making sure I can save $1 million, that's not going to be the driving force for you. You're going to fail. Well, not all the time, but you need to find somebody that has strong moral ethics, that wants to help and wants to help your employees and wants to help you learn and is there to encourage you. So many times I've seen mentors, exactly what you were saying. A guy today was in my office. He was doing an inspection for something for me. And he was talking about, he was at a company, a solar company, and he started doing great. And the mentor, I completely forgot about this. The mentor told him, literally, he goes, "You did this wrong today. What are you doing?" Yet his sales were doubling everybody's in the company. And as he got more successful, the mentor started to talk down to him, to start being envious. So getting involved with somebody is important, that you find a person that is not going to do that. And listen, human nature is going to do that sometimes. If I'm teaching somebody and they start making more money or they're becoming more successful, a part of you is always going to have that little feeling, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. But as a mentor, you should be happy. The mentor should be happy that you're excelling. The mentor should be happy that you're pushing through and that you're reaching your goals. And so my advice is, if you're looking for a good mentor, look for a mentor that is not just out there. Oh, there you are. That is not just out there for his gain. Sometimes, often too as well, mentors can be there for their own financial gain. I'm going to teach this kid something because he's young, he's cheap, he's willing to learn, he has the energy to do it. Again, that's going to be the wrong person to find. Find what their driving force is. Is it money? Is it their family? Is it the fact they want to help other people? And that will help you make a better decision on choosing the mentor that you want to be with. Good morals and helping others, to me, is the number one thing. And being honest. I've always been a proponent of being honest, telling the truth, and not lying. Like that, to me, that is the number one thing.
I think that's great wisdom there.
Right.
That was a jewel,
Yeah. Cool.
Talk to me about risks. We're talking about all of this, but we didn't talk about how you handle risks.
Right.
And that is a big part of being in entrepreneurship. So I want to talk a little bit about two types of risks, right?
Sure.
One is going into something where you might be negative one month and positive another month. And then the other thing is, you have a beautiful wife and a beautiful baby girl, being able to provide for them. That's the other part of everything, where it's like, I have to be able to provide for my family, and especially being the man, and the very nice man that you are, I know that you feel that it's your obligation and your responsibility to take care of your family, and that's the other side when you have those down months, and it's a risk, you are the way you're going to create, you are, what am I saying? You are your paycheck. What you do creates a paycheck. You don't get it from somebody else.
Well said. So risk, that's a huge thing. And I think it's really funny because this hits home for me. When I was younger, to me, risk was like, oh, it's nothing. You just do it. You do it when you're younger. When you get older and you have a family, you start to think about that more. So I think it's important, whenever you're getting involved in business, there's always going to be a risk. You could say I'm like passionate about this part of it, because everything when you're an entrepreneur is a risk, no matter what it is. You're the one that's creating your paycheck, like you just said. I think it's important when you are taking that step or taking that risk to just remember what the end goal is, and just remember what you need to do to get there. Because in every aspect of business, you're taking a risk, whether it's buying leads or whether it's marketing your business, hiring, payroll. It's always going to be a risk, and it's scary. It's 100% scary, but you need to just do it. Taking the risk of just doing it is the biggest fear of all. The biggest fear of anything is taking the risk of losing money and starting your company or starting your business or your venture or your going and playing professional sport or trying out. That's the biggest part. But once you start and once you overcome that, then you can start moving. But remember, the risk never goes away. It's always there, but you try to adapt. You try to find ways to limit the risk. Right?
Yes.
So, did that answer the question?
It does.
Well, you know, it is because risk, you could take it so far. It's risk is like, it's crazy because, you know, risk always, to me, it was just a thing. I was like, oh, the next month, wait, I got to spend 20 grand this month. Oh my gosh, should I do that? Should I not do it? All right, I'm going to do it. Bam. Oh, I made it back. Oh, I got more money. It's like the risk is always the essential part. And that's the fear of why so many people don't succeed. You know, it's taking the risk. I'm comfortable. Being in your comfort zone is not going to get you further. It's never going to. You know, any like, you know, what is it? Big thinkers, you call them. They're always thinking, get out of your comfort zone. Do something that you wouldn't do. For me, it was doing the office. Do you know how easy it would be for me to go get a nice job somewhere in the city, a nice paycheck with my experience? It'd be great. But I enjoy the risk. And that's the thing. You need to embrace the risk. Embrace it. Because if you don't embrace it, you're going to be so scared, you're not going to know what to do. You're going to be stuck in fear and paralyzed. You know, so often people get stuck in this box. I was talking to you about that. I don't know if you remember, and when we went to that conference, and it's so important. In that box, you step out, you take the first risk, and you just start. The risk will never leave. You adapt to it, and you take that risk on like a challenge, and you beat it. You overcome it, and you keep doing it. But the risk will never leave. They're always going to be there.
So here's an NLP question for you. Just so our viewers, people who are looking at this, people who have dreams of risk, how do you represent that to yourself, that risk? I know you said that you enjoy it, but when you know you're about to take a risk, you know, what are you saying to yourself? Because some people could say, oh my God, I might fail and my family won't eat. And it hasn't happened. You know, they don't know that for sure, but that's immediately what they say to themselves, and they stop. They don't take action and move past that. You know, what do you say to yourself to make you enjoy the risk?
I love this question. That's a great question. So, oh man, for me, there you are. I always keep the vision. What do I want? What am I trying to accomplish with this? The risk that I'm taking, do I have the tools to succeed? And if I don't, am I going to create the tools before I take that step? It's always important before you take a risk to do something, whether it's money, you're prepared. Always be prepared. It's like going into battle. You need to make sure you're prepared. You know what your surroundings are. You know, be aware of your environment. It's funny. Here we go. Here's a good book I read too. Equipping. John Maxwell. Equip yourself with the right tools to succeed. And that risk will be, you know, lessened to an extent, but it's never going to leave. But it's important to be prepared. And I think a lot of time, if you're prepared for it, it will help you. But see, for me, I embrace it. It's scary. It's very fearful. I did a business venture, you know, a little while ago. There was a lot of money involved, and, you know, I really wasn't sure, but I embraced it. I made sure that I had things lined up the right way. And for me too, it was a challenge. I enjoy the challenge because I know it's going to make me work to be more successful. And Tony Robbins actually, you know, he talks about it himself. He bought a castle. He didn't have the money for it. He bought a castle in California. I don't know if you remember him saying that. And he's like, I didn't know how the hell I was going to pay for it, or he was cursing and all that kind of stuff. But he ended up paying for it, and he put himself in that position, and he took that risk because he knew it would push him. So sometimes your risk, which is a fear, can be the biggest driving force. And I would say embrace it, but make sure you're prepared. Hold on, I can't see you. There you are. Yep.
Okay. The audio froze up a little bit, but not the audio, the video, but I can still hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Technicalities, but we're still moving on.
No problem.
So, so tell me, we have about 5 more minutes left. I know that you have a meeting after.
If we just for the record, Margaret, if we need more
Work
time, I can.
ethic.
Oh, hold on.
What is your work ethic?
That's a. Did you say work ethic?
You are.
Okay. So work ethic.
So thinking like an entrepreneur, right?
Right.
I
Yes.
mean, this is your business. It's your baby. You've got to make it work.
Right. So work ethic is, listen, if you don't have the drive or you don't have the energy, you don't have the know-how, you need to find it, because in order to be successful in business, you need to have a drive. It's so easy. So many people can look around and be like, oh, well, look, this person's, look at him. What's his name? Oh, geez, Ryan Seacrest, a great example. This guy's worth $30 million, $50 million. Yeah. Why? He works his ass off. He works nonstop. He's been doing American Idol for years. He has his own talk show. He has his own radio show. He produces the Kardashians. That's a work ethic. If you want to be successful, you need to act like you're successful. No problem. And if you're not successful, fake it. Work as hard as you can. Pretend that you're the best that you are, and just continually do it. Get up with a positive attitude, and you got to just commit yourself to doing it. That's the most important thing, especially in business. Your work ethic, your morals, and what you're doing are the most important thing. If you work hard, be honest with people, help people, and make sure you have a plan and a purpose for what you're doing. And I believe you'll be successful. And if you're not successful, try again. Revamp your strategy. Create a new vision. But always keep focused on the end goal. I want to work for myself. Remember that. I want to work for yourself. Feel the pain of what it's like working for somebody else, and put yourself there. And envision yourself working for yourself and doing that. Is it going to be scary? Absolutely. Is it going to be fearful? Are you going to lose money? Maybe. Are you going to have people that are not going to like you because now all of a sudden you're being more successful? Absolutely. But that's what you need to do in order to, to do it. Work hard.
I'm like coughing here all of a sudden.
I know, it's okay. Margaret, if we need more time, I can just keep the phone and drive. I'm not sure what you want to do.
No,
Unless we're good.
it's
Oh,
fine.
good? Okay.
Yeah. So it's a tradition here at Lifestyle by Design, not default, for my guests to leave the viewers with 3 action steps that they can start implementing in their lives right away to help get them on the path of creating a lifestyle that they love. What are your 3 action steps?
Excellent question. Love it. Okay. So the first thing is find your idea. What is it that you want? That's it, the idea. The second thing is, the most important thing is create a plan. Never go into business without a plan, or anything that you do, never go without a plan. And the third step is execute. Step out of the box and take the step and execute what you have. Those are 3. Get an idea, create a plan, and execute. If you do those, you'll be successful.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add? Any last words? Anything you feel that I didn't ask that you think it's important for viewers to know?
Just the whole thing here, talking about business and the entrepreneurial mind, nobody knows everything. And there's so many variables in business and things change. It's just very important. You always keep the vision for what you want. Always picture what you're trying to accomplish. If you fail, and you may, try again. Create another plan of action, but always keep sight of what you want. And if you do that, I really believe that so many people are just, so many people want it, but they just don't want to step out. They don't want to take that step, but you can do it. Everyone can do it. I am no better, no greater than anybody. Never. Like, I don't know more. I knew nothing. You don't have to know everything. You don't need to be a businessman. You don't need to be a scholar. You can do it with your idea, with your plan, and your execution. No matter what you do, if you work hard. For me, it's keeping God first, my family, working hard, being honest, and then continually striving from there.
Well, beautifully said.
Thank you.
Chris, I want to thank you very much for your time. I want to thank you for sharing your experiences and for giving advice, for caring, enough to offer your experience and your wisdom, your gems that you dropped here tonight.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margaret, for having me. I loved it. If you ever need anything, feel free to ask me.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
You got it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.